Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to NightMayr. Ooh. Before I bring on our fabulous guest, come see me next Saturday, May 17th in Mount Kisco, up here in Westchester. Venue's called Jazz on Main. I'll be headlining, and my good friend Keanu Thompson will be opening for me. Super fun show. For tickets, go to my website, ChrissieMayr.com, or you could go to jazzonmain.com, and I've got a bunch more shows coming up in Long Island, Ohio, Plano, Texas, San Diego, Phoenix. Did I say Ohio? I'm all over. Yes, please come see me. Stand-up is fun. Okay, today's guest, good friend. You may know, if you're a Compound Media listener, viewer, subscriber, she may look familiar to you because she did that show a bunch. She is a comedian. She's a mom. She's a fellow redhead, most importantly, and you can see her June 22nd at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Welcome to the show, friend and turf, Mary Jane Murphy. Yes! Double redheads. This show has no soul. How exciting. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's always, I don't know why, it's like when runners see each other. It's like you have to give it's so exciting being around another redhead. And I know I may sound ridiculous because this is dyed. I'm chemically enhanced, but like I feel like kinship.
It's so true. And you're right. It's whenever I see another redhead, even if it doesn't matter if dyed or not dyed.
There's that like
yeah.
Like I'm sure when two black people see each other, it's like
the same thing.
It's like, yeah, you want to go get this Target together? Let's do it. You want to go punch this white person? Hey, you want to go push this Asian into the subway with me?
I'm gonna go steal out of this woman's diaper bag at the playground.
Oh my gosh. How fun. Oh my goodness. Tell the fine people how you're a fellow stand-up as well. How did we even meet? I know you came on my What's Spot show.
We met in open mics like 13 years ago in the city.
13
You had blonde hair and you wore a little tight mini skirt.
I wore a mini skirt.
You were so dressed up for this open mic. I never saw someone more dressed up.
Where was the open
mic? I don't even remember where exactly it was, but I remember you because you stood out in my mind like that. You made an impression with the mini skirt, and then you did a joke about like wanting to be catcalled, and like people don't like this was an open mic, so you're just trying stuff. And like people don't like women don't appreciate that anymore.
But you
wanted to be catcalled, and then like nobody laughed, and someone was like, "She thinks she's hot shit." Like someone sitting next to me said that. Like, yes, I did. It's another comedian who's not even doing comedy anymore.
I hope that person's dead by now. No, I'm kidding. Of course,
she's like making t-shirts somewhere. She's like.
She's making lattes somewhere. She's probably in my DMs telling me what a horrible person I am for these various tweets that upset folks. Oh my god!
But then I would come back to New York from. I was living in Hawaii at the time when we first met. I would be in New York for these like little spurts. Come home, and then I would do a bunch of shows.
Are you from Hawaii?
Think I did. No, I just we just moved there.
You just love sunblock and sunshine.
I just wanted to go somewhere warm and nice.
Wow.
And then so then you were hosting. I got into the She Devil Comedy Festival.
That was an all-female comedy festival in Boston. It was the first comedy festival I ever did. I think I did it. I may have been like 2 or 3 years into stand-up tops. Like it was. Yeah. Oh no, wait, that's the Boston Comedy Festival.
This was in New York.
The She Devil was at the Laughing Devil.
I know Rosebud Baker was in that one. Okay. There was a bunch of people that are like doing a lot of good stuff now.
Yeah, she's doing great right now.
I remember seeing you there and being like, "Oh my god, like how are you? Blah blah blah. Like you've come so far." And you were like, "You were funny." And I don't know, a lesbian wound up winning. It seemed like it was. It was like
the deck is always stacked against us straights.
There were so many lesbians in that competition.
Anytime you go to an all women anything, you run the risk of lesbians
taking over. Yeah, it's a lesbian from North Carolina, nonetheless.
Ugh, aren't they all? North Carolina, they might as well just call it the lesbian state because it's all lesbians and liberals. Yeah,
North
Carolina is a very lesbian.
It went to Trump though, right?
It did. Thank God. The lesbians came to their senses in North Carolina. But that's so freaking cool.
So, and then, I just would see you, like, every time I come back, I would kind of, like, find you and see you and be like, Chrissie, hey.
Stop wearing mini skirts.
No, you weren't. No, that was the only time. After that, you were always a redhead. It was just, like, it was a long time ago.
Really trying to find myself. I got advice from, what the fudge was her name? Gladys. Remember Gladys? I don't even know if she's still alive, but she told me, I went to some kind of comedy seminar with her, and she said that she explained what I should be wearing on stage, and it sounded like Ellen during the early 90s. She's like, you need to be in slacks, you need to be a jacket. And I was like, I don't even own those things, like, because I would wear skirts on stage, and she would just tell me, like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing skirts on stage.
She said, you're never gonna make it in showbiz like this.
You would have never stood out in my mind if you didn't wear that mini skirt, and we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for that mini skirt.
Oh my goodness, that's so wild. Yeah, I was a blonde for a long time, like my whole life, and then I dated a guy who wanted me to dye it like dark brown brunette, and I was like, fuck you. And I dyed it red. We didn't.
And then you've been red.
We didn't work out. Luckily. Since. Yeah. And I feel like it's more me. I feel like it lets people know that I'm crazy right away. Like I don't want to lie to people, You
gotta be a firecracker.
Yeah, I feel like a real firecracker. About going back to blonde, but I'm already kind of dim, so I don't want people to I don't want all the blonde stereotypes to come back.
I mean, redhead is a form of blonde anyway. That's
true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll just go somewhere in the middle. All right, enough about me. This is about you. So I can't believe that's what we forget, people, right? You can just up and move to Hawaii if you want.
Yeah.
Wow. You were like, I love coffee. And what else do they do in Hawaii? Alcohol? No, it's more like coconuts and
they hate me in Hawaii now. Like
what?
It's funny because it's a very liberal place, and there's a Hawaii comedians group, and I'm still like in the group, and ever since I've come out talking about
being a TERF.
Yeah. So there was this guy, Brandy Morgan, and he beat me 3 times in a female comedy competition in Hawaii.
What?
3 times. He's like 6'3". He would talk about his dick, and he'd be like, "You knew." I don't want to hear it till the guy she did. I was like, "You knew."
Trans person?
Oh, so like
okay.
There was no question that it was a man. Like I mean, when we first met him, he was still living as a man by day at his job, and it was like this whole process.
Best of both worlds, crushing it in the man's world of whatever. He worked in finance, just
he had been in the military. Anyway, he recently
wow.
I know died of cancer.
Okay.
And I was looking.
Well, let's not stop that from the
No,
insults.
it doesn't. I agree. Like because it wasn't like my husband died when I was in Hawaii, and that's what made me move back to New York.
Shit.
And like
right.
He didn't do anything special for me when he died. Like he was a narcissist. He stole a period joke that I did. He stole someone else's joke that
trans person doing
he made it his
joke.
wife. He made it his wife. He stole everything else from my joke and made it his wife. It wasn't even that great of a joke, but it was still, I was still like, what the? I was like, womanhood is not the only thing you're copting. Like,
no wonder. So is this how your TERF
they got enraged
began?
So no, I was looking for a picture because I wanted to see my stupid face in the picture, and there's also like a YouTube video somewhere people can probably find it where we like there was a group, the Women's Female Comics of Hawaii, and
how many people could have possibly been in that group? Like that's so specific. I don't know any comedians to ever come out of Hawaui. What is this? 10 of you? 9 top?
It was always rotating. Like it was always people moving away and coming back. This woman she was great. She was really great at promoting, and so the female comedy shows were always great shows.
Wow.
Like they're always packed out. She sold them out. We even went to Maui. But this man, what as Brandy was in the group, and he would go.
Oh my God! Is this it?
Yep. That might not be the competition, but that's him.
You gotta be kidding me.
We were on the news.
You gotta be kidding me. This is what gets me so riled up about trans people is they just no effort. They think if they get tits, that's it. And those don't even look like real tits. It looks like he's wearing one of those boob
He was, and then he
shields.
did eventually got plastic surgery. Like I said, it was the beginning of the the process when he first stared.
Look at you looking
comedy.
at him like this motherfucker.
Right? Like I wanted to see this picture of the competition. And I was asking for the picture and they all just immediately started like calling me all these names. And then I started looking through the group and I was like, oh shit, they've been talking shit about me for a while. Like, and people
and you're
started
in this group.
And I never even go because what do I like?
Facebook.
I could care. Yeah, I was just I keep bumping in. I could care less. But then I saw that they were really talking. Like someone said, Mary Jane makes Chappelle look like an ally.
But wow, they're comparing you to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay.
This is the competition right here.
That's not the competition. That was us on the news, but that was me. Like, I remember just being like, I'm standing my ground. Like, I'm not gonna let him just take the whole spotlight because that's what he'd love to do. You know, just take it all and go.
Did he ever try man's comedy? Like, did he ever just try regular male stand-up comedy?
Like, which was every other night of the week, right? It was just this.
It's like the fucking athletes. They suck at the men's version of their sport, so they have to get in the women's space. And I feel like that's what this dude is doing.
Yeah, it's a one. Well, right. Because so if it just felt, I remember feeling like shit that he got to do jokes about having a dick at a woman's comedy competition, and then he won, and it was like, oh, so women really aren't funny. Like, of course, the best girl for the job is a guy. You know, like,
yes, that doesn't help our case at all. That does not help the rumor. Yeah, dispel the rumors that of women are not being funny.
Is it one on the left trans too?
Yeah, she kind of looks manly as well.
She's not.
Now I'm sus of everybody there.
Yeah. You know, she's not, but they were like
She's
best friends. They were all best friends with him. And then so when I was asked for this picture and then I was like, found it, doesn't matter, don't need it. Anyway, forget about it, you know? And they're like, one of the guys there was like, we just want to let you know that we're still mourning her death. And, and I just was like, look, the truth
her
is
penis.
The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. And that's that. A man won and was labeled top female comic of Hawaii.
What year was that?
The contest I think was like 2018.
Okay, wow.
There was a few. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, he won a lot of things.
That's so annoying.
He won like a Hoku award, which was like which was like the Hawaiian like Grammys, but he was in a category with like he was only competing with like one or two other people. It was like one of those like where you get to like say you won an award, but you really had no competition.
Wow.
But
that would enrage me as well. Okay, so that...
And I couldn't say anything at the time. So it was like at the time I just was like, I just knew it felt shitty, but I didn't like, I hadn't what we call peaked. I hadn't peaked
him right
yet.
here, Brandy Morgan.
Yeah, Brandy. You know, I don't want to hear you didn't know. You knew, you so knew.
Oh my God, dudes in women's comedy competitions. Unbelievable.
Right. It's like all the local people are always saying it's such a small proportion. Like this happened in my local, I'm in a bowling league and I was the top female bowler. And then a guy said that he was a girl and he would come in his pajama pants. I could see his dick bopping around. He was a gay guy. He was there with his gay boyfriend.
This is in Hawaii?
No, this is here. I'm just saying like it happens.
This
like
is your whole life is being trapped.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And like people are just look at the NCAA and they're like, oh, it's only 10. And it's like, but there's whole relay teams that that are women that are not even made of women, like that are all men in high school. Like I stopped my bowling league. It's like I was just like, no, I asked him to change it. I asked him to get out of the bathroom. I was like, well, at least list me as the top female bowler. Like, and they're like, there's no prize for it. I'm like, well, then why do you list top female bowlers and top male bowlers? Like, if you're going to list it, just make it accurate. I want the spot. I want the bragging rights. I want to be the top female bowler.
Yeah. Like, would the dudes pretending to be women bowling, would they just like, I imagine they would like look at you holding your 8-pound ball and be like, and then they pick up a fucking
with their huge hands. And he would do like what this throw that almost no women do. It's like this two-handed throw where you like chuck the ball.
No woman can do that.
There's a few that do, but like not like him. You know,
wrists for that.
Right.
You gotta have porn star wrists to throw like that.
And, you know, women can, like, because it goes to 300. So it's like a sport that women can win the title where it's not just women's bowling. Like, just like chess, there's poker, there's stuff that women can win. But it's so rare, like, and it's still dominated by guys. So when there's something that is for females, it should just be for females.
Right. But, like, feminism has come so full circle. Now we're back to supporting a man over a woman again. That's how you know we're truly equal as women, that it doesn't matter anymore. It's bullshit. Ugh. Wow. So this has really been like a theme in your life, Mary Jane. Like,
well, and I mean, I'm an
encroaching.
athlete. Like, I've been playing sports. So, like, having a daughter that now is playing sports, like, there better not be any boys coming in. Like, I'm not going to stand for it.
What does she play?
She plays softball, lacrosse, basketball, and then I'm going to get her into swimming and some other. I mean, I played like every sport under the sun as a kid and all the way through high school. So, and that's what I want for her. I'm like, whether you want to or not, you're playing all these sports.
There's a lot of cute boys in swimming. The male divers are typically gay. I was a diver.
I was a diver too.
No way.
What was your best dive? What was your
favorite? Highest scoring or
yeah, I mean both.
Funnest. Oof. I loved a 2.5 pike off the 3 meter.
Look at you.
I love to do a full twisting 1.5.
Oh wow, you were like doing real good stuff.
I loved like my whole pike list. My whole like voluntary pike list on 1 meter was fun. Those would be like beautiful.
So you must have been a gymnast then, right?
Yeah, I was a gymnast. Started at 9, which you might as well start at 30 if you're going to start at 9. That's too old.
Yeah, I started at like 4 or something.
That's when you have to start. Is like when you're just a kid and. I just wasn't, and then my ankles started to give out like I started at 9. I remember in high school I'd be walking down the halls and my ankles would just give out and I'd collapse in the hallway. Like, I don't know. I had like weak ankles. So, and then I started diving at 11 and then I transitioned. Like I remember in 7th grade, they put me on the high school varsity gymnastics team. And then I was doing diving full time, I think maybe 11th grade. For a while I was doing
impressive.
both.
Yeah, I didn't go that long into
then
diving.
Maybe 10th grade or 11th grade I switched over. It's foggy. But then, did diving all through college. Like, it was my love.
You did it in college too?
Yeah.
Like you got a college scholarship for diving?
Well, I was at Fairfield, which was Division I. I had a very small scholarship. There's just not.
But you played a college sport.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know that about you. That's awesome.
And it was Division I, so pretty decent. It was either Fairfield or UConn. And there's just something UConn seemed so far. I'm from Long Island. It just seemed like so far away and so like scary and cold. And then Fairfield is like, oh my God, it's an hour away from where I lived in Long Island. It looked like a golf course. It was like all the boys were so cute. Like, just when you're 17 years old looking at college, your priorities are not really like what they should be. And
did you go to any diving camps like when you were younger?
I went to Indiana University when I was 14. It was the time of my life. I can't believe my parents let me go. Like, it was a dream come true. And because I was also a diver, I got to show off at the pool like during the breaks. Like they would have like, you'd have like your gymnastics all day, and then they'd for recess or whatever, you could have pool time. And then I was like, oh sweet, I can like bust out all my cool dives. Like, no one's gonna be able to beat me at the gymnastics camp. But like, people were chucking things off the board. But
chucking things?
Yeah, just chucking stuff off the board. No finesse, no riz. Oh my God, I still remember the pizza rolls from diving camp. Like, I had never had a pizza roll. Like, Mama Mayr was never cooking up pizza rolls. Like, this was not I didn't grow up in a pizza roll house. It was like, we didn't have the money for that kind of shit.
Pizza roll?
It was noodles
like
and butter.
$1.50.
It was, we were not having fun heat 'em ups at my house. There was
like
never.
Volcanoes?
No, we had no heat 'em ups. We had
heat 'em ups.
Zero heat 'em ups.
So you had like a healthy house, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
that's what I'm
because
actually hearing.
my mom was always on a diet because my dad was always fat shaming her because he was German, and not that she was fat. She just had a mom body. She just was like 150 something pounds her whole life.
One pig und blanket.
Yes, exactly. You know, mixing the blankets.
She was always starving.
We never had snacks. She never.
But she didn't lose the weight. It sounds.
She never really truly. Well, okay, this is gonna get dark.
Okay,
so she got brain cancer and died in like 2018. She was diagnosed like 2015.
And now she's svelte.
Well, she made that joke to my dad. She's like, Frank, you always wanted me to be thin, and now I'm thin, but I have cancer. I have brain cancer. And I'm like thinking, holy shit, that's so funny.
And so true. And so true. Was he like, it was worth it?
It was true. I could tell like this lifetime worth of resentment was culminating in this like perfect comment from her. Like, Frank, you always wanted me to be thin. Well, look, I'm thin now, but I'm going to fucking die. She's basically saying, but like, I was like, woo.
Did she look good though?
For a time, she did look good.
Like there's that like little like cancer peak I think that people have where you're just like if they were fat you were just like people are like you look good and they're like well I have cancer. You're like
did have some cancer feltness, but it very quickly went into too skinny.
Right,
and then
like bones. Right,
when you can't be too skinny as an old person because it's just you need a little something to fill out your face and your ass. And she's very petite, like 5'2", and like maybe shrunk a little over the years, but and then she got to be like too little. Oh my God, that was really rough. I got into so many fights with my dad about that. I'll never forget like the last time I showered my mom, the only time I had to shower my mom, like she was, but like I was in a bathing suit. I remember she was like holding onto my shoulders and I'm like, I felt like it's like this moment where you're like, oh my God, I don't know. I hope most people don't have to, I mean, it's part of your parents getting older, right? Like at one point you will have to take care of them if you're close by. But I was like, have
a good relationship.
I was like, thank God we're in the shower because I was crying so hard while I'm like trying to shower my mom. And I remember thinking like,
just because she was was leaving basically.
She was like sick and like at the point obviously where she couldn't shower on her own. She was like, it's hard to tell like how. It's probably like in the last few months of her life.
She did chemo.
Yeah. And I remember like I'm washing her with this washcloth and I go like, how do I wash her cooch? Or do I not? Or do I just, I think I remember I just sort of dabbed it with the washcloth and I was like, I was like,
let's do like a front to back. I would just do a front to back
I'm not
swipe.
Trained for this at all. I'm just
front to back
dab
swipe.
It and
you
then
dabbled it.
I dabbed it. And I was like, I'm just tapping it.
You dabble in wiping.
I dabbled in nurse's aid work. It was like one of the saddest moments of my life. But you're just like, your parents are gonna maybe need you like that at some point. Oh my God, I got into so many fights with my dad, just about her being sick and who should take care of her. I like screamed at him. I'm like, you gotta hire a 24-hour nurse. What? Oh, I don't want strangers in the house. I'm like, well, you're fucking old too. You can't be old.
If he's not taking care of her, then yeah.
He was like not. And he's he's doing it with this like shitty German attitude, like let's get a Jamaican in here, okay, who knows what they're doing, not someone surly.
Like I would take care of either of my parents, like if they let me, if they needed to, like with my dad getting a knee replacement, just like he won't let me do much. It's like if I had to shower them, if I had to wipe them and change their diapers, I mean, I would. I would. It just like I thought about that, and I was just like, it's like I love him so much, and it's and I know he would never in a million years want that, but I'm like, if it was at that point, I wouldn't like be like, oh, I'm gonna.
You would be like, ew. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I would just be like, I would just do it in a clinic way, like in a very clinical way, like just do it, and then I would just drape a washcloth or towel over him, so he's not exposed the whole time. It would just be a quick. Like I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, if I had to do it, how would I do it? You could even do it like where you cover with like a wet, because they're in a chair, right? You cover them with the wet, like their shower chair, right? If you're doing it, then just they can have a thing in the lap covering them that's wet, whatever that you're gonna squeeze out, and then not even looking, could just do like a quick swipe, and then you don't even have to see it.
Just be like.
Yeah.
Maybe be like, hey, Dad, maybe you can wash your own dick.
If they can do it, they always like have them do it. Always have people do whatever most of the
This is not what I thought we'd be talking about.
No, me either. Okay. Things.
Here I thought we were going to talk about crab outrage.
Let's get into the crab outrage. My dad is a crab. That's so funny.
Nursing home STDs are really out of control.
They are, though.
That's funny. My mom was a cancer as well, and she got cancer. So
Yeah, he has a cancer.
it worked out. Wow. How did we get on this topic?
You went from diving into this somehow.
Yeah, I was going to talk about how I went to Penn State diving camp, but it never got
tell
there.
me about Penn State diving camp. Sorry, I'm making this too much about me. No. I suck at this. Penn State.
Yeah, I think
They're more than just rapes.
I think I went there when that guy was, and we were hanging out with these football guys all week, and then like the last day, like their attitude sort of changed, and I've always wondered, like, did something happen to them? Like, were they in that group?
Oh,
you know, like.
Do you remember what year you went?
No, I don't. But it was. I'm pretty sure he was there.
So they went from being very friendly to you to standoffish?
To seeming like something was wrong. Yeah. And it was like, we were like cute diving girls. Like, it's like you're only there for a week, right? You know,
wow.
like why wouldn't they get what they can? And then
diving camp was so much fun.
No, it was a lot of fun. Like this, I remember like our room somehow got toilet papered. I have some pictures of like
the inside of the room.
The whole dorm room was toilet papered.
So you stayed in the dorms at Penn State?
Yeah. Yeah.
So neat. Did they have platforms there or just springboard?
They had everything there. I hadn't been on a high like the 3 meter. And then they had the platform, the really, really high one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed, the counselors were all divers themselves on the team. And so they were the ones who were
cool,
like coaching us. And
would you do like dry lands too? Were there like foam pits? And
yeah,
like
we did. Yeah, and they had a trampoline thing with the, a harness that you could practice.
That's so great.
Doing stuff. But I mean, I remember just hitting like my back, like, and everyone would clap. Like you get all these welts on your,
hitting the water.
Yeah, you open too soon or too late,
and you're like, this fucking.
And then they were like, we're gonna clap, and I'm like, by the end of it, I'm like, yeah.
You gotta clap for a smack. It's just because you know what that feels like.
They made us do a lot of crab walking as like punishment. You know, when they make you go like where you do this
crab walking. What? That was never made to do a crab
You never
walk?
had to do that? Were you on your hand like
wait, that was
they're like having to go all around.
Why? Why did you have to do that?
I don't know. We had to do that. Like it seemed like if we were too loud, like there was always like a reason to punish us. It felt like. I mean, it would be like,
that is crab
like, you guys are gonna do
outrage that they made you crab walk. I've never in my whole life heard of anybody inside or outside of diving having that be a punishment.
No. See, Penn State was abusive.
Wow. No, we didn't have. I was never punished. Well, we'd have like at our training camp at like college, we had to do like weight room stuff, but never like physical punishment.
No crab walking.
No, I'm outraged at that.
It's gonna be the new segment. The crab. You just tell, hey, see if you can work in the crab somehow.
Oh my God.
I don't care how you do it. Just see if you can make me feel it's like crab outrage.
It feels like an improv scene. That crab outrage. There it is. Scene. I had the most Indiana experience possible at the Indiana University diving camp. I met this, I think I had to have been 14. I met this boy. Don't remember his name, but he never.
It's a good year for you.
He had no sleeves on any of his shirts. He cut all the sleeves off his shirt.
That's hot.
Sweat so much, but we like made out. And I thought it was like very exciting for me. But he's so sweaty. He was like dripping sweat on me. And I was like, I'm probably never going to do this again.
I went on a date last year with a guy. It literally was like this time last year, and he took me to a Yankee game for the first date, and he just was nonstop sweating. And I thought, okay, it's a hot day. And he had like a towel, like he was like mopping it up, like around his neck. And then I went on like 2 or 3 more dates with him, and it didn't matter. He was just always just sweating profusely.
Like, I'll see you in the winter. And this is too much.
Yeah, that was it. That was the reason why I was like, I'm not gonna. I was like, everything else is great, but
was he fat?
He was a little overweight, but if he didn't sweat like that, I would have, I like a little cushion for the cushion, as they say.
Good. You can't be with a dude that's in better shape than you. You'll never sleep at night.
Gotta go a few octaves below, right?
Yeah. You gotta be a few pizzas above.
Fat people are great people.
Fat people.
Fat outrage.
Fat outrage, crab outrage, all the outrages. Oh, should we do the goal of if we raise a certain amount? Oh, we should have set that up in advance, right?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Well,
I was going to say, if we
Spend money.
if we hit a certain super chat goal, Mary Jane will tweet from my phone for 5 minutes.
Or I'll take off my shirt, whichever.
Oh my God, even better. People will pay for that for sure.
It's like, I just
How
keep teasing it every now and then.
cool.
I'm like, oh, there's another one.
There's no amount of money that would have me take my shirt off right now because it would scare everyone and ruin my brand.
And ruin your brand.
Just ruin my street cred. Ruin everyone's boners forever, mostly Frank's.
Okay, so I'm setting it to 15 super chats of $5.
Okay.
2 hours, I put the timer. And Mary Jane Murphy takes over Chrissie's phone for shirt outrage.
The timer should be less than that, 1 hour.
Well, no, you just set it to a maximum so it doesn't
Okay.
run
So
out.
How much money does that equal out to?
$100?
15 times 5, yeah, about that.
How much?
$100.
Oh, guys, come on! Someone just give $100.
I know.
real quick.
Or one person could
Yeah, just
nut
one.
it up.
That's like you just need one, right? It's just
Yeah.
the one. You just need one fan, one big fan,
One person who has money. Look, these people
and has a little crab outrage.
donated money. Yeah. Shout out to
Oh, that's so cool.
yes, these are all people who donated to my Give Send Go, who helped make the studio possible.
Oh man, I wish I had given a little. Did you have to give a certain amount though to get up there?
Yeah, at least 100 to make
Okay,
it to
yeah.
the Wall of Fame.
So I was gonna say I want to say I gave, even if I didn't. Like I always want to be like, oh yeah, I gave to your GoFundMe. Like, but it's like, oh no, I probably gave like $5 or something.
Oh.
You know, I was like,
Maybe I should like
Just to
below
say.
have like a post-it note with like everybody who gave less than 100.
With the honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mention. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you could do a thing where, like, if someone super chats like $100, you'll put their name on the wall there,
Write it in with like a white paint pen or something,
or like a post-it.
or post it.
Yeah.
I come up with a lot of good ideas for
Yeah.
people to have that
It's true.
engagement. and that
Yeah, you could do like
interaction.
it's like a monthly thing. Anyone who super chats over a certain amount gets their name posted to the wall. Or
That's
something.
a good idea. Wait, what was your favorite dive?
It was inversion.
An inward? Okay.
Yeah, an inward. Yeah, I've wanted every time I've gone to a pool now as an adult, even with my daughter, to be, and I'm like, I'm going to show you my best dive. As soon as I turn around, the lifeguards blow the whistle at me, and like you're not allowed to
You
do
can't do
any.
inwards? What
You
kind
can't do back dives or
pool
anything.
is
So I
this?
haven't. Because I wonder, can I still do it? You know, you have those. I'm sure you have dreams where you're doing flips and you're doing all sorts of
Oh,
things.
the diving dreams? Yeah. I know for sure what dives I could chuck off right now and still
You do a
make.
1.5 pretty easy, you think?
You know, I could do a back and a half straight off the 3 meter. I know I could make that because that's actually secretly very easily because it's all just like really like the physics of your arm basically. Like you go up, down, and then you just like jump. You do this and that. Like by doing that action, like it will flip your body
I love
over.
those things where
You're
they're like, you just got to do this, this, and this, and then you just do it, and you're like, wow.
You bring your arms in, which flips you around, then you bring them back, line them up, and just and it's actually probably the easiest thing to chuck and make. I wouldn't do a reverse right now. That's nerve-wracking as fuck. I would maybe not attempt an inward either. Although an inward is basically like
It's
a
so
forward.
easy. Like you're
so
just kind of, yeah.
I really haven't tried to do anything.
I did it well. I don't know. And then 1.5. So I didn't get beyond 1.5, but it was just on the, what's it, the 1 meter?
Oh yeah.
And we never competed in 3 meter. I was just like on the town team. I wasn't like, playing.
Yeah, I started on my like town diving team, like, and then I just fell in love. It was like it really was a thing that kind of like kept me from being a destructive teenager for sure.
That's great because you have, that's why sports are so important. And that's why girls' sports are so important because women that play sports make more money in life. There's all this types of research that
Really?
shows that they go on to, because you learn how to lose, you learn how to win, you learn how to work with teams, how to lead. There's just so
I'm
much.
great at losing. It's why I'm still doing stand up. It's like
You don't even realize how
Yeah.
many areas of your life it can affect. And I think it's really important for
it's so important
women to have
for
sports.
every kid to do a sport. It teaches you discipline, like not to be a pussy, like not to quit right away. So many good qualities, really. Or like, it doesn't have to be a sport. It could be dance.
My daughter did a lot of dance, and I mean that as an athlete that did, I did some Irish step dancing, but
You look like an Irish step
right.
dancer.
I danced in a few parades in the city.
Oh, wow.
With like the Hibernians,
Doing well. Wow. How do you get on that parade route?
The Hibernians, like my dad was in some like, men groups. Like it's like the Elks Club, like the Hibernians.
Yeah. I love that. I love an old man social group.
Yeah. My dad's got a lot of those. But I thought that she was really into it, like doing like a solo, doing jazz, and it's so expensive for one. And then two, it just felt like they're putting on all this makeup. It just felt like toxic compared to sports where I was like, I can't wait for like the basketball and softball and like where
There's no pressure to wear makeup or have good hair in sports.
Yeah. It's very narcissistic, the dance, and then you're just getting, and then they give out all these bullshit awards like that. It's like all a money-making scam. It really...
And every different style of dance has a different shoe and outfit.
A million different shoes. And then like they'll give out an award that's like the sassiest. Like for people that don't really win something. And there's only a few
superlatives.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they are. They're superlatives.
Most likely to succeed in dance.
But then you could become JoJo Siwa.
But on the other hand, though, it is like I saw really cool dances, especially from the older girls. And if you're committed to it, I don't want to knock that either. It is still like a sport.
If you're good,
you work hard, and it's. I just prefer, other sports. But I don't think that someone should be so like isolated into that. I think you should still do other things. But.
Yeah, sports are obviously way cooler and better. Both show. Yeah, it's important. So when did you become a TERF?
When I started reading about all these men that have been, winning women's prizes.
I say that as a compliment, by the way.
Riley Gaines, I was already, before that happened, like I was telling you that I was in a female comedy competition in Hawaii and a man won, and a man was in the group, the Female Comics of Hawaii like group that we like toured around and did, and I remember feeling like and like there was jokes that were stolen too, and it just seems like he got away with whatever he wanted and talked about his dick and went into our restroom and would be talking and just there was definitely a fetish there,
absolutely, 1,000% a fetish.
And then when Riley Gaines, when that happened with her, that was when I just started going and we call it like peaking, which is where you're just like, you can call me a bigot, you can call me a transphobe. I've heard it a million times. Someone calls me that almost every single day online, most likely multiple people. So it doesn't hurt anymore. You're just like, okay, nothing happened. Like I didn't melt down, and you still don't have a counter argument. All you can do is call me names, and I'm telling you that, more than 2,000 spots have been taken by biological men. Wow. More than $1 million in prize money that was meant for women. No sport has been untouched, from skateboarding to Irish step dancing to gymnastics,
even Irish step
to diving to track and field to softball to like almost every single sport to cycling. Like cycling had first, second, and third place were all men in the women's cycling, and then we just had that happen in darts, right? Was it in darts?
Darts?
Was it in darts or no? It was in fencing.
We can't even have darts to ourselves.
And then they punish the women. Like that's what the problem is that everybody is so scared to lose their job. And what happens to anybody that speaks out again, that's gender critical, is they often get sued, they get fired, they get banned, they get expelled. There's a What Is a Woman case happening with Saul Grover. Do you know about that in Australia?
That sounds so familiar. Was that person on
it's still going on,
Matt Walsh's documentary?
I don't know. I don't think she is. I know she doesn't really like Matt Walsh for whatever reasons, but I've seen them have some stuff on Twitter. But her case is going all the way to the Supreme Court. It's Tickle versus Giggle, and is what the case is.
It sounds familiar.
And
Roxanne, Tickle versus Elmo.
she created an app that was for women.
Oh shit! I interviewed her. That's why it sounds.
You interviewed Saul Grover?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
my brain is melting.
She does do a lot of
I'm like, ooh, she's not familiar. She's on the show. Idiots!
Pop up the replay.
I didn't want to interrupt him.
No, please interrupt me if I'm forgetting something like a guest that's on the show.
So so all these things have been happening in the past few years.
Because you said Saul, and I remember Sal. I in my head I called her Sal.
Maybe, you know what? I always just say Saul, but maybe it is Sal.
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong.
Either way.
You know how you say a word in your head all the time and you're like, I have heard people say Saul and Sal. So I'm not fully
You're probably
sure.
right.
But then also there's the lesbian app, so that was an app for women to live, and she's going through that, which you said you had on her show. And then there's women that want to have lesbian apps that are just for women, and they can't even have that. They can't even have an event. Jenny Watson, she tried to create just women events and got kicked out of spaces that she was doing. They just come in and they're so aggressive. And then in the city 2 years ago, I was at this club called House of Yes. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah.
And they have the bathrooms that anyone can go in, and I went into the bathroom and a tranny came immediately, I had barely taken off my pants, started banging on the door, and ripped me out of the bathroom.
What?
Ripped me out.
Hold on, are you talking what kind of bathroom is this? Was it a communal sink?
No.
Or
No, it was anybody can go with whatever that place is they have tons of trannies
so
dancing.
single
It's House of Yes. They're very into that.
Gender neutral bathroom?
No, it was a women's bathroom,
really?
but there's all these people that are performing there that are claiming a woman identity, and that's in New York. There's no law preventing them from using it. Any man can say I am a woman and go into a women's bathroom in New York, and I've challenged it and I've lost because the law does not support me. It doesn't support women at all in New York. And he was drunk and he grabbed me out and literally threw me out as though him needing to go to the bathroom was I was online, I waited for my spot,
that
and it was just
a time I was at a zoo. Something similar happened to me.
Where you just
not with trannies, but with black teenagers. But anyway,
where you're just have this aggression towards you, where you have it's totally unwarranted. I had no back and forth with this person. There was no conversation prior to. It was just they didn't even know. I don't think who was in there. Wow. It was just.
They're just the most important person.
The strangest thing. Yeah, they were probably drunk, but it's so the aggression. I had never experienced aggression like that. Yeah. And there's been a couple
of them. Threw you out of the bathroom?
Threw me out. Yeah, bang down the door. And I was so
scary.
Confused by what had happened at that time that I didn't even know who, I couldn't point them out or find them afterwards or take a picture or I complained and they were just what kind of when you have a complaint and people are just dismiss it. I wasn't there to do a show. I paid to get in there and to have a good time, and that's what happens is you're so confused by it, and then they say, oh, no women have complained about men in the bathroom. Yeah, because they're scared. Mm-hmm. Everybody is scared everywhere. Women are scared.
That's a very female trait we have. Yeah.
And in all the sports organizations, it's men that are at the top. Charlie Baker, at the NCAA, the guy, it's a guy at the top of the top swimming organization. The only female that is at the top of a organization right now is of the WNBA.
Wow.
And she supports trans rights, and I was
have to, basically.
And it's how does she not realize that it's just a one-way street? They're saying that they support that no kid should not be able to play the sports that they love, and no one is saying that. They're just saying that if you're a boy, you have to play with boys, and if you're a girl, you have to play with girls. And so not allowing boys to play girls' sports is they always say trans kids, but it's not trans kids, because the women that identify as men still play with women because they can't.
Because they're not
play with the men. They can't. They're not. What do you? If you have a scholarship and you're saying I identify as a guy, and 9.99 out of 10 times you're going to still compete. I know there's 2 women that identify as men that are playing on men's team and they take testosterone. Are they breaking the records? No. Are they? Right. It's a swimmer and a fencer. Yeah. that have made it to the gold standard of.
It's just so easy for your average dude to just absolutely kick the ass of the best women.
And in this, and they sue. They're so litigious. They're so powerful, and they keep saying they're so marginalized. But it's not. It's anybody that speaks out against it. A woman said that men can't breastfeed in the UK, and was harassed and lost her job. She had been a nursing breastfeeding specialist for like 20 years. And she said pumping yourself full of hormones just so that you can affirm yourself. Like a baby is not a tool for your affirmation.
So heartbreaking.
Like how could, I mean, it's disgusting. You're using your child as an experiment.
This baby's getting just something disgusting.
Like you know.
Like goo, basically.
And they try to, you know, control the narrative too and say like, oh, it's just what comes out of a man's boobs is just as good for babies. Like they had to redact that. Like it was one of the like WHO or one of the top, you know, health organizations.
They do not have the milk producing like equipment on the inside of a.
I mean, some of them can with these hormones, but it's like, it can possibly have severe heart effects on the child. Like it's so dangerous. Like why would you ever? And they're doing it because and if you look at up pictures, they look like they're orgasming.
For their egos.
It's clearly a fetish. No, it's also a fetish. It's like they're like,
ew.
Like, did you ever do that when you were breastfeeding? Were you ever like?
Never. And like you read accounts that like some women do feel it, but it's like never. It's
not to that point.
You are completely in a separate category of your brain, and you go into mom mode, and it's not even a thought. Wow.
And by being in a women's sport, by being in the locker room, they're against like your will or my will, they're forcing us to be validation tools for them. Because if we weren't there, then they wouldn't be considered a woman, right? Like if there was no one playing with them on the women's team, then who would be there?
If they had their own bathroom by themselves, they couldn't like throw their weight around and be intimidating.
They've had all this time to create a third space, and they've been offered, you know, another category for sports. Like no one signed up. There was a thing in UK for this big swimming event. Nobody signed up. Not one person signed up to do the like non-binary whatever category, right? In the Boston Marathon, 3 men were, not this year, but I think it was last year, 3 men won each category of it. Like the women's, the non-binary, and the men.
Just put them in the Special Olympics. I don't know.
It's just not our concern. It's like it's a men's problem. Also, why aren't they safe in the men's bathroom? Like they're not comfortable with. They're a man and they're not comfortable with men in the men's bathroom.
No, yet
they don't understand how women aren't comfortable with a man in the women's bathroom. They don't see that translation. There's no
because it's not that they're uncomfortable as men in the men's locker room. They do it because they want it suits their ego to be able to pass, or it's like it's an intimidation factor, and it's like they have this power over all the women that would say no, or all the women that have to just quietly shut up and deal with it. Whereas like women, it really is about like safety.
The YMCA is one of the worst. That there was a woman, Julie Jamin, and it was a couple of years ago, and she there was a guy that had his penis, and there was a little girl that was like 7 years old, and she made a fuss, and they called the police on her, and they banned her for life for it.
The mom or the girl?
It's Julie Jamin. She's like an 80-year-old woman who had been in the community for 40 years and had been swimming at this place and reacted to a man being in the women's locker room, and they immediately went to banning her. That's like the punishment is always on the women.
Person speaks out.
And it's not why. And then they say we're being inclusive, and they keep using that word. They're being inclusive, but they're not, because that's excluding our feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're preferring this man with the fetish over actual women. It's so fucked up. Do you feel like in 2025 things are starting to get better, or it's still going to be a while?
I noticed that like a lot of people that used to maybe be like, oh, like I'm an ally, have become more quiet. I think that still people are really scared. I do my best literally every single day to persuade at least one woman to come to our side, because I think a lot of people are just like, they don't know. And then if you see these videos and you see like how violent these men are, and you see how many, I just put together this like 90-minute thing. It's on YouTube that it shows all these people being punished, and it's like all these different cases, include Saul Grover, like all of the. and I put a call out on Twitter, and I was overwhelmed with how many. I could have gone for 10 hours. I could have had 10 hours. Like, there was a woman who's a lesbian who would go to soccer games, who had the gender critical beliefs that were never anywhere near the soccer. Like, she was just had season passes to the soccer. Okay. And they like banned her for like several years because of whatever she wrote on Twitter that was basically just like supporting women's rights. It wasn't just like J.K. Rowling. It's like she's not saying they need to burn and die, but they say that about us. I've been told that I should get raped, that I deserve death. Yeah, I'm not chanting for their death. I'm just saying stay out of women's spaces, but I deserve to die for that and get raped for that.
That's how you know it's about power and intimidation.
But I don't know. Yeah, and that's why I understand why people don't want to speak up, because they're like, I don't want to get political. Like, I don't want to like lose my job and do this battle. Like, but I agree with you. I do agree with you. I can't. And I hear that a lot from people.
Wow.
And I wish those people would all of them would just speak up, because then this shit could really just end. It could just be over. Like, it needs to end. So I do think that things are getting better with Trump and Pam Bondi, but like they're still in the prisons. They're still in. People are just ignoring just the other day, a man won I think it was in Maine by like 20 seconds, and then the article that I sent you in softball that was just on like the 6th or 7th that there's a boy that's playing for Minnesota.
Why's that?
Pull that up, Jamie.
Let's watch the clip.
You were just
run the clip.
Turning off the sconces because one of them died.
Yeah.
I don't know why we charged the sconce lights all afternoon, but they still die.
What am I pulling up?
The clip.
I sent it to you on Twitter. It's one of the clips.
Which one?
Is it the sport one?
Yeah, the one with the softball where you're like,
okay, that one. Yeah.
So this guy, he hid his true gender, and like a lot of the girls didn't know until very recently. They couldn't understand why he was so much better, and he could do so much more with the coaches than anyone else ever could. Like, because their physiological makeup just wasn't
better.
And there you hear like the announcers just gushing like about his wingspan and another strikeout, another dude. So no, it's only been recently found out. But I mean, he's still pitching. I mean, he just pitched the other day. But and the ones that are even on the same team are upset. They're like, I knew there was something. Like, because when you're on the same team, that person's getting one of the spots that you want. That there's still that competition within the same team.
It's funny, like all the men, like the coaches, announcers that are all men. Like, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but I really like this gal. There's something about her.
Yeah, they're just gushing.
I just love.
They're like, look at that wingspan, look at that, and it's like, yeah, because it's a dude. And so like the argument of like,
all right, let's listen to this with the headphones. I've never heard this.
Do it.
Let's take it from the top, PLT.
That's him.
Where is this? Where is the school?
It's in Minnesota.
Ugh. Wow.
Look how he towers over them.
Like my rise ball and pitches to the zone, mixing different speeds and keeping them off balance. It's been high energy all the time.
Wow.
Strong defense and picking each other up after every out, being able to string a couple hits together and getting runs.
We're great in the circle. Our pitchers do a phenomenal job. We have 2 young pitchers.
Of course, he loves having a ringer.
And they've been doing a phenomenal job. They keep us in every game, and then we string hits together. Chaska's a top 10 team. I mean, they've been in.
Wow.
And you save this game to the end, as a prep to go into sections. So to win this and be on a high going into sections is huge.
Bunting. I love a good bunt.
Look at the speed also.
What? Wow. Wait, it's number 10 is the dude?
I think number 4. This wasn't the clip
4?
that I sent, but
rewind it a little. Rewind.
Ooh.
I mean, that.
You see, he's towering over them.
How old is this?
This happened just 2 days ago.
I mean, how old is the boy?
17.
17.
Wow.
17 years old, 6 foot tall, wants to be recruited.
Is he on hormone blockers?
I mean, I'm sure that he is. He was, his mom changed had his birth certificate changed when he was just 9 years old. And in Minnesota, you don't have to, like, they make it, there's no markings on it that show. So, and the NCAA is saying they're doing it by birth certificate, but they also are saying, we're not going to allow any men in it. So that's why everyone's arguing for sex testing, because sex testing is something that it could happen in an athlete's life one time. And, the other side is like, oh, you're going to be checking their genitals. No, it's like a little bit of spit. It's a little cheek swab.
I mean, is it so crazy to check genitals? I mean,
if you could do it with a cheek swab, you don't have to, and then they don't have an argument. It's like it's spit.
Right,
like we could get it from your soda can, literally.
Or something, right? Like, yikes! So how did it come out that this was a boy?
It says it right here.
But while Rothenberger has managed to conceal his sex throughout most of his school history, his teammates and competitors have recently become aware. One anonymous female softball player from Minnesota who played on the same team as Rothenberger in 2023 spoke to Redux under the condition of anonymity. The girl noted that it took years before she realized Rothenberger was a boy, believing at first he was simply just an awkward girl. We were never really that close because I never had anything in common with him. I never thought he was a boy, but after finding out he was a boy and then looking back on a lot of things I wouldn't have looked at before, it definitely shows that he is a boy. I felt dumb for missing the clues. The player said she initially discovered his true identity in July of 24 during the 23-24 season when no one was really talking about it, but added that by November of the year, lots of people from the softball community found out the truth and were openly talking about it. Oh, maybe some of the hormone blockers didn't take. Who knows? According to the player, Rothenberger regularly used the female bathrooms, even rooming with the other girls when the team traveled across the country, while none of the girls he shared facilities or bedrooms with was aware that he's a male. Looking back, it disgusts me and it's scary. They described his athletic performance compared to the other girls as being completely unreal, saying he's able to do so much more than the girls who train with the exact same coaches. He is able to be relied on as a pitcher and took opportunities away from girls who deserved them the most. She told Redux that she felt upset and uncomfortable that males are being allowed to play on the same team as women, especially being told that as a girl, I have to just learn to accept that men can take advantage of you, even if they just want to identify as female. The girl added that she is frustrated and hurt by the whole ordeal. Many players and I work so hard to achieve something through this sport, and we find it unfair that our spot can be stolen from us. This shouldn't be allowed, and boys can stay in boys' sports and leave us girls alone. I shouldn't have to learn this lesson that girls don't matter, that we just need to be silent while we lose out. So a boy feels okay.
And that's the lesson that they're teaching, right? So it's so heartbreaking that she even says that. And his pitching, he statistically pitches better than a major league baseball pitcher. Like, that's how many strikeouts he has. Like, I mean, come on. And people say, oh, it's just a few. Just one boy being able to strike out a whole team, that's affecting 12 other girls on the other team. It's still affecting your own team. And then you multiply that by all the other teams. Now you have hundreds of girls and the season is affected. It's a cheater. Now you've affected stats. You've affected recruiting. Anybody that was maybe going to get recruited to a college, but they just got to be shown striking out. So the recruiter might have been like, they're not probably, I'm not going to recruit them. It's the magnitude of that one male has that people seem to not be able to put their finger on or mention.
Wow.
Yeah, this was
what's this?
This was the clip of it that I sent you. Okay, I liked his breakdown.
Fealty.
Rothenberger, at 6 feet tall, appears to
6 feet tall
over his female competition. In this game on May 6, 2025, he threw 7 strikeouts and shut out the opposing team.
Damn.
Apparently, Rothenberger's batting against average is .128, meaning opposing girl players only hit 12% of his pitches, which is considerably better than elite MLB players. He recently had an absurd 14 strikeouts in a single game.
Whoa.
What was really amazing was listening to the dense male announcers as they gush about Rothenberger's wingspan and how hard he throws it.
See how she whips it? The long arms is just such an advantage.
Yeah, it's an advantage.
Whip action of that long arm for Rothenberger.
Yes,
He's
long
a boy,
arms.
Guys. Get it? He's male. And it's cheating. Stop gushing. The male
That's
coach
funny.
who coaches Rothenberger
They're like,
was
finally, a
gushing too.
female can
Pitchers
play
do a phenomenal
baseball.
job. We got Marissa Rothenberger. They keep
Oh
us
my
in every
God.
game.
What's not to like about having a male ringer on the team? Except it's cheating, of course. Rothenberger is apparently hoping to get recruited onto a women's softball team in college somewhere, and I found his profile on recruiting sites. But hopefully this helps expose the cheater before he can cheat any more girls out of their opportunities, scholarships, and victories. Meet Marissa Rothenberger,
Oh,
a
wow.
male pitcher.
How funny. And you just have these dudes like, I don't know why. I don't tend to like female athletes, but there's something about this gal and I just love.
And it can be hard to know. You don't always know. Like a lot of people say, oh, you can tell and you can tell. And then besides the fear, because there's this argument that I always see that people say, women need to just not compete. If they don't compete, then this will just put an end to this. And it's like, that's a really bad argument. Like for one, there's no coordination system between all these high schools that are going to be able to, like, at a track meet or like, you don't know who you're going up against. You have no idea.
How do you get everyone to agree?
You know, and then when when women do find out and they do refuse to compete, they're punished. They're called bullies. They say that they broke some kind of sportsmanship policy.
Wow.
And then they'll be suspended and they don't get to play. That, I mean, that's what's happened. That's what happened to a basketball team nearby in this tri-state area. And not only did they refuse to play another basketball team that has a boy on it. This is very recently. And the response to that was they should have just been a forfeit for the game. They banned the school from playing any sports, girls and boys, and this is in court now too. And
Holy shit.
It's like, what a punishment that is, just because you guys didn't want to play. And there was games that this boy injured 3 girls, and other teams had to forfeit because so many girls were getting injured. Like, I played basketball, and I would beat the boys up until I was about 13 years old. I was killing them. And then, I remember one summer coming back as like 14, and all of a sudden, even the ones that I crushed,
damn, they all hit puberty.
they were faster than me, and they were starting to. They weren't even fully there yet. And I mean, I was starting to fly across the court, like when I would go up for layup and they would come down. It was like the power was unreal. The speed was unreal. And I used to be able to beat them in races. Like, I was able to, and boys still have an advantage even when they're kids. That research shows that, but you're a lot closer. Some girls can really beat boys before puberty. Like you can, and I was one of them. And so I experienced that firsthand, like being like, wow, this is different, and it sucks to lose. Like when you're used to every lunch, at lunch, I always played with the boys. Like I was the only girl and I would be good. And
you hit your athletic peak at 13 and then it was all downhill.
Well, against boys it was, it's, you can't crush them anymore. And they're excited. They're excited to beat you finally. They've been having a girl beat them. They weren't going easy on. They were just like, yeah,
they come
bitch.
back with their one chin hair and all this energy and speed.
I remember seeing some of those hairs as I fell down, like, oh, wow.
Like, oh, good. Somebody's got armpit hair. Wow. Somebody thinks they're special. Interesting. And then those same people, I could do this all the time. If I just join a women's sport, I could have this feeling of.
Yeah, anybody can. That's what's the problem with gender identity, with self-ID, is literally it's a loophole for any man that wants to identify that can do it. And it shouldn't even be for ones that feel their dysphoria. It's like, too bad. In sports, bodies compete, not identities. Like it's a zero sum thing. No, everyone is not included. So the whole inclusion argument also doesn't
bullshit.
It doesn't pan out. And so when I make all these arguments with people, they have nothing to say. So then they just say, you're a bigot, you're a transphobe, and then they just resort to calling me names. No one has beaten me in a debate about this issue.
What's the best argument someone will come at you with that's trying to debate you on this?
I don't know that there's any best. I think that they're all shitty arguments. It's just a few. It's a small population. These kids should be allowed to play sports. Why would you take away sports from kids that love it? It's important. All the things I say that are important about sports, as though it's not that they can't play. on the boys team, as though that's not it seems to be like not an option. And there's boys in high school that will play, sometimes they'll play a boy sport and then they'll also play a girl sport. Like it's a nice thing. They can, and then some of these boys in high school are winning multiple top, awards and prizes for all these different sports. It's like, I may as well do girls skiing, and I'll also do girls softball, and I'll also do girls swimming. Like, I'll just take them all.
That's ridiculous. What would it take for this to be? You mentioned we're sort of moving in the right track, but what would it take for this to really be a thing of the past, do you think?
I think for laws to be passed and for sex testing to be implemented and it just to be, and for more women, we have to reach some sort of tipping point. That's why I'm always doing my best to persuade women, like my mom,
because we're too nice.
My mom didn't play any sports, and and she's very liberal, and she was like, I feel bad for them. She even texted me today, like, I really feel bad for them, and I was like, did you just watch BBC for the past couple hours? Because they just did men's feelings for 2 hours, and I know she did. She absolutely did. I'm like, and then
I see your Netflix history.
There was outrage. So then they brought on Sharon Davies and some other, woman that said why it's wrong, and then went right back to like the guys crying about their feelings. It's like they were never even asking women about women's feelings about men playing sports. It's always about the men's feelings.
That's how they
always
take advantage.
That's the narrative, and that's the narrative on all of the media, and that's the narrative everywhere. So if you even say like, people will be like, okay, J.K. Rowling. That's always the first. I know that they're about to start calling me names when they ease it in with the J.K. Rowling, comment. So I think for more women to just peak, as I'm saying, and know that a TERF isn't a slur. It's just a woman that believes that women's rights don't extend and should not extend to men. That's all a TERF is. And when I realized that, because I thought someone was calling me a slur the first time I was called it, I was like, I'm not a TERF. I had no idea that I would be proud to be a TERF, and that I was already a TERF, because I didn't know what it was. And then when I realized, it's just a woman that feels like men don't have a right to the rights that, men overpowered women for thousands of years all across the globe for no other reason than their ability to overpower us. And they still have that ability. Nothing has changed in that respect.
Right. Even if you're wearing a dress and you have fake boobs, it doesn't.
In Afghanistan, every woman would opt out of being a woman if they could. If this were real, and I don't think there's any men identifying as women to have a tiny slit. They can't even, dogs have more rights in Afghanistan. They can't even talk in public now, women. They're not even allowed to, dogs can at least bark.
Like, they can't have doodles, like hypoallergenic doodles over there? Probably not.
That have enjoyed, and it's like you're jealous of your dog going out there and barking, and you can't even.
Yeah, they look at that dog learning to read, driving a car.
Allah who bark.
Like, that's real violence, though.
Write that down, someone. Jeez.
But that's violence against women. Like having acid thrown on your face and being disfigured. That's violence against women, and they conflate saying, this is violence. It's not being allowed to go into the women's bathroom is not violence. Like, it's not being able to play on the women's basketball team is not violence. So words are magic, and I believe, but that's why we call it spelling. And so they've taken off. That's why I don't say trans woman anymore. I say trans identified man, because I'm not letting the idea of a woman come up in my brain, because we have that internal representation. It's neuro-linguistic programming. Like, I believe in affirmations. I believe in law of attraction, and that other side has done it so strongly, like trans women are women, trans women are women, so that people are like, okay, I guess
that's a whole generation.
And now we have children that are getting having healthy body parts amputated, and being taught that they're, that they can be confused. And I would have been saying how much of a tomboy I was. They would have told, and my mom being liberal, like, they would have told her, she's a boy, she must just be a boy. Like, that's so sexist. That girls can do and love whatever preferences that they have, and so can boys. They can be gay, they can be straight, they can like dolls, they can not like dolls. Those are just preferences. That's not doesn't determine your actual sex, because I do I know that it's immutable. Like sex is it's determined, it's not assigned. So they've taken all these words saying is sex assigned at birth. No, it's established, it's determined. It happens at conception, right? If it's an if it's an X sperm reaching the egg, then it's going to be a girl. If it's a Y sperm, then it's going to be a boy. It happens right when it hits the egg.
The sperm contains the gender information.
Do some little figure of a sperm going across my face.
Yeah.
Did you get any super chats?
Oh, did we? Yeah, no, but you made so many good points that they use language against us, and they use our what's great about women, which is our empathy, and they use that against us.
So if I think that's part of where we can start to change. If like I said, saying trans identifying man, I'm not giving you woman. That's a word for women. I'm not cis. Like we're not some subclass.
No,
there is no subclass of women. People say, what about the intersex? Intersex are just a sex disorder, and you're still either a man with a sex disorder or a woman with a sex disorder. Like the boxer Monica Lewinsky, that was a man with a sex disorder, had internal testes, whatever. MRI scans showed it. It's a man.
You just got a little bit of weird junk down there.
And in those countries you could be they thought he was a girl. Like they don't have as much education and as much technology, but eventually it was revealed that he was no longer a girl. He was really a boy. Sooner or later you find out.
I have a women's studies minor, and my biggest takeaway from those 4 classes was that they would say, it's easier to make a hole than a pole. So if you have an intersex, like that, what they would do oftentimes with like a questionable looking person, they'd be like, it's easier to make a hole than a pole, and then they would just make those people women.
Right. And I mean, and I get that, but I understand that is a much more nuanced and complicated issue, being born that way, being raised that way from birth, being really truly that has to be horrible to think you're one thing your whole life, and that was who you are, and then
that's not your fault.
And then finding out, and it's not your fault, just how you were born that way, and then finding out that you're the opposite sex as you go through puberty, but still that doesn't give you the right to go and get an Olympic gold medal, like Semena Castor, whatever his name is. There's several of them that have this sex disorder, like. They're men, you have to accept it. It sucks, but that's not everybody else's job.
Exactly.
To have to deal with that.
You're so right. Wow, this is a good conversation. Mike V, thanks for the 5. Cosby was not confused about his gender. He was all man. Trust me on this. Okay.
Like Bill Cosby?
I guess so. I don't. What other Cosby is there? Mike V again. Will you have me on as a guest? I have many stories about the one and only Bill Cosby. He was known as America's dad. Mike V, I don't know who you are, but I guess if I ever have it.
Were you gonna invite this stranger?
Yes, let me
for $5.
Invite this stranger to my studio.
Because he gave you $5.
I'll think about it. Derek C for 5. Derek C for 5. OT, but the outbreak of conflict in South Asia has people on edge. Regardless of your background, we can all come together and hope that India and Pakistan turn each other into glass. What?
What are you talking about?
Is that some sort of quote from some sort of movie that I should have seen? James Sharp for 5. I'm doing my part. Hope you two are having a great day. And thank you, James, for the cool books that you sent. Isaac Vanderbilt. These clowns
that's old.
Oh. These clowns.
4 days. Oh, okay.
All right.
Don't want to start giving people credit.
No.
Double credit. It's like double jeopardy. Like they
Can't.
be like, thank you again for that $2. Let me read your comment again from 4 days ago.
Should we cover the crab outrage?
I feel like we should cover the crab.
That's the peak of the show.
The crab. People are going to watch this going, was it really just about the crab walking?
Or did they have crabs? Like, did someone have an STD and they didn't mention it? Like,
oh, right.
Oh, yeah, my kid had lice and then I accidentally scratched down there and now I have crabs. Like,
and finally, let's talk about Mary Jane's pubic crabs. Yes. Let's go to the crab.
Never had crabs in my life. Have you had crabs?
No. Okay, how does one even get crabs?
I've eaten them.
From sex. I had a friend that told me she had crabs once. And it's just like lice. She said it's just like, that's what it is.
I imagine it's just you're seeing tiny, tiny little crabs down there, like under the sea.
Have you ever had lice? Did you ever lice?
No.
My daughter had lice. Well, and if you all you have to do is go somewhere and they put on a freaking hat or something. That's what she did. We went to this museum and they had like all these different like wizard hats, and I was like, no. And I remember, and then it was so bad because she has such curly hair. It was.
That's how you get lice from putting on hats.
It can get it. They just can jump. You can do. It can just be close contact. It happens when they're in like second, third grade, like all the time.
I remember being checked for lice many, many, many times in the nurse's
You got
office.
lucky.
They have the chopstick. They're always looking at
The chopstick,
and I'm just like, God, when is this gonna be over? I would be the worst person to have lice too, because I have.
We were seeing them like fly off of our head. It was like they were fully. It was so hard to get rid of. It was so hard.
But they jump to the ground. Do they then live? Do they die?
Oh my god! Well,
immediately?
I mean, they get tiny when they're that big. It's like, oh my god! Like you're looking for to get it before it's even like they're being hatched. But we kept doing
eggs, right?
We kept doing the treatment and like missing some because she had so much hair and she was like 3 or 4. Like so it was hard to keep her. You know.
No.
Eventually, I just did it like so many times, and I kept having to like dip the little Lancome thing in the water, and I would see like all these bugs just floating around. I mean,
God,
we definitely did. We definitely did kill it. But that was like it was
and she's 9 and she still has lice to this day. Right? It's a real bummer.
I've heard of people that have it like on and off.
Forever
Like,
lice.
well, it's like you can't get rid of it, I guess. But I'm praying that was like it. Like she's never gonna have it again. You know.
God, how do you change the sheets every day? How do you?
You have to do. It's so much work. You know. It's
Who has time for?
And this was like it was after my husband died too, so it was like I was dealing with like so much, and it was like I didn't have the energy to be like,
oh my God,
you know,
you poor thing.
I remember driving all the way from New York to Florida to my sister and being like, you have to help me with this like lice thing. Like we got it, and we did the thing like multiple times. So I think is it the same? Is crabs? Oh, pubic lice. It says pubic lice.
Right now?
Yeah, he does.
This is nightmare fuel.
I feel like I should crab walk around the studio.
Horrible.
For the crab
what it looks like a monster. This is gonna haunt my dream.
Yeah, that's why they itch, right?
This is gonna be like what I see when I close my eyes tonight.
It looks like a bull. Like the head is like the head of a bull, right?
I'm in your pubes.
It looks like it's saying, "Come at me, bro. Come on,
come at me, bro." It looks like those kangaroos want to fight you. Even there's 2 eyes,
Calvary,
sad
right?
mouth.
Yeah. That, I mean, it was I never seen
I'm in your pubes.
lice on the head is different, but I've never, thank God, experienced.
Who even has pubes anymore? It's a liability.
Can you still get it? Can you still get it if you don't have pubes?
I don't know. I mean, they have nothing to grab onto, so
Right.
lice eggs are called nits.
Yep.
All these nits running around. There's too many nits in this neighborhood. It's really bringing down the value.
When's the last outbreak of crabs? Like where? Nursing homes, right? That's what you're saying. That's probably where it's like prevalent, is my guess.
Too many nits.
That's their probably.
Coming in.
That's probably their primary STD that they pass around at a nursing home. It's probably crabs.
The nits are always looting a Target. They're always stealing out of your purse at the playground.
So a woman cooked a live crab or something. She did.
Okay, let's find actual crab out.
Crab out.
Get this off. Well, let's go to the actual crab story, which is
nobody had crabs.
About
This was
cooking the crab. I sent this to you.
We're pretty good at going off track. I've noticed that. From your mom's cancer to crabs.
Yeah, it's been the most off-track episode.
Oh wait, this wasn't ever about
Food
crabs,
lover.
the sexual.
No, it was never about that. It was never
It's
about
about
that.
this. This is a viral video about this woman who is black, and she received outrage for the way that she cooked her crabs alive for a seafood boil. Let's go to the tape.
I heard there was no boil.
There. Okay, go to the tape.
I haven't seen it though.
Oh, there's a video.
Is there? Of course, there's a
There better be a
video.
video. If not, we need to find this. We need to find this viral video.
Go up. Go click on the where TikTok. Yes.
Oh,
Chels on TikTok. Oh, please bring it up, please. Oh, it's just saying what TikTok is. What the fuck?
wait, maybe this is it.
Okay. Yes.
here we
Yes. Stop it. Okay. Listen.
You've seen it before? You've seen
Yep.
it? Okay.
But I will watch it like it's the first time. Okay. Is the volume up? Beep boop boop. There it is. Okay.
Y'all, let's make a crab boil in the air fryer. Listen, don't knock it till you try it. So first I boiled my potatoes first. Then I washed my corn really good. Added my corn.
You can turn this down. Is it better? I'm turning your knob.
No, it's off.
I use a little
Good.
bit of
Okay. All right.
Let's make a crab boil in the air fryer. Listen, don't knock it till you try it. So first I boiled my potatoes first. Then I washed my corn really good. Added my corn. And then I seasoned it with some Old Bay seasoning. I used a little bit of Creole seasoning. Use whatever seasoning you would like. I used a little extra seasoning because I like my crabs seasoned. Then I had a couple blue crabs. My air fryer is kind of small, so I only could fit like 2 or 3. So I went ahead and put the 2 crabs in the bowl. I was scared, so I was like jumping because they were live.
They're screaming.
Are they screaming already?
And then
I heard it screaming too.
The crab yells exactly like my mom's best friend, Andrea.
Lobsters do too, right?
Oh my God, I've never heard a crab scream. The poor things.
Because they were live.
The crabs scream just like my mother's best friend, who was a chorus teacher. And I go, Dory! Every time she's come over, ah! That's what these crabs sound like.
Live.
Live.
Well, are you sure it's not the song?
It might be, but
Wait,
I was scared, so I was like jumping because they were live.
that's not the song. That's the crabs.
Yeah, that's not the song. Yeah.
crabs are screaming for their
sad.
lives.
They're screaming for their lives because they know they're about to die.
One of them's like, I'm a pregnant crab.
I'm a child. But wait, the crabs are going, I'm trans. Does that help? Can that get me out of this?
And then I went ahead and seasoned my blue crabs with some Creole seasoning. I added some Old Bay seasoning. I added a little.
It's getting in his eyes. His mouth. It's like, it's all Bay in my fucking mouth. Pip, pip, pip.
Puts the lotion on the skin.
I can't. There's salt in my eye. How sad.
Crab seasoning. And when I tell y'all, I went ahead and turned my air fryer on.
She air fried
400.
She air fried them.
She said it was a boil, but I don't see any water.
It's a fry.
And you see the arms? Oh my God. Okay.
This is so sad.
Okay.
I'm outraged.
This is very German.
What is?
What's happening right now?
It's the air fryer.
I used the fish setting because it didn't have a crab setting, and I let it cook for about
I didn't have a
15
crab
minutes.
setting.
Now,
I
do
used
not-
the Jew setting because it didn't have a crab setting.
Even
no.
crab, you
Oh my
put
God.
them in.
I definitely
old
want to
man
see
on
how they look at the end and what they taste like. I want to hear.
Keep going.
knock it until you try it. It was kind of sad watching them kind of, but these crabs came out so good and juicy. I was not expecting them to come out this good. I ate both of those crabs in like 2 minutes. I will be air frying my crabs from now on. I thought they were going to be dried out, but they were perfect. You can see they're still kind of moving.
Oh,
But I did let
twitching.
them cook for the whole 15 minutes, and here they are. They are done. You can even see there was a little bit of juice at the bottom of the bowl. Y'all, 10 out of 10. You can even see the meat. So good, y'all. Bye.
Oh, is the eye right there? Is that an eye on it? Is that an eye?
An eye on the claw?
On what she's holding? Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's a claw. Okay, I thought it was the eye. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, no. Oh, like, it looked like
It's-
teeth there,
yeah,
but it's a
I
claw.
thought- oh my
Oh,
God.
that part?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
that was a
She
slow
will be
death
air
for
frying
them.
her crabs from
now on. Like, oh my God. She's like, I'm going to do it live. Did I mention live? And she's like, yeah, you can see it's still kind of moving. Like, but it's going to be tasty.
Like the longest, most painful way for a crab to die, because with boiling, it dies right away. And then there's even methods like if I even saw people in the replies saying like you got to take a knife and jam it in between their eyes, and like someone expertly you got to fuck up the nervous system and jam it around, and that's like the humane way to kill a crab, I guess. This is not secret.
There's a vegan, I'm sure of it, in your comments, like that's losing their mind right now, probably. This is the test to see what kind of fans you have.
That's sad. It is. I mean, I enjoy a crab. every now and again. But to see this is so sad. I mean, I guess crabs are dumb and they don't.
They clearly felt pain the way they're screaming.
Right? They're not screaming for no reason.
No, I know lobsters, when you put them in boiling water,
Let's go
they
to the
scream.
comments.
Wait, before you do this, so the humane way of killing crabs, it says, can be achieved in 2 ways. By using electric shock.
Oh, electric shock. Just strap them to a little electric chair.
A little crabby electric. I'm outraged.
It's equipment called a crustaston.
A crustacean.
I feel like we need like SpongeBob graphics. We need the Little Mermaid crab. You know, when in the scene where the chef is gonna cook.
It's a great
Sebastian. It's Sebastian, right? It's a crab.
Oh yeah,
right. And he's like running all around, and he almost dies. And it's like,
you're gonna have to buy a crustacean. Wait, what's after that?
So what's the other way? If you don't have the electric chair,
down to a temperature within its natural range. So I guess it just kind of gets
like the frog, like put it in the water.
Yeah, or like
hold on, by cooling the animal down to a temperature within its natural range. This can be done by wrapping the animal in a wet cloth or seaweed and then cooling it by putting it in a freezer.
What if you give it some narcotics? Will you get to also have the effect that will that be like a double thing?
To death.
That sounds pretty good.
Humane.
That feels good to me.
Just slowly
just throw them in your freezer, close the door, like let them and leave them for an hour. Leave them for an hour.
That seems better. You don't get to hear the screams, I guess. You know, unless your freezer's not scream proof.
Plus, maybe they feel like they're still in water. I don't know.
Step 2, once the animal is in a sleep state, oh boy. It can be humanely killed by physically severing the main nervous system. Yep, that's what the person was saying. And then draining the animal of blood.
Okay,
wow.
No one's going through all that trouble.
That's a lot.
If you're doing all that, yeah, that sounds kind of sick, in my opinion. So what happened to this woman? Are people like out? They're like really outraged.
Well, there's outrage.
Did she get more followers though? What's she cooking next? She said it was so good and juicy though. You know, don't knock it till you try it. She said. She added, "I love that. Don't knock it till you try it."
People are knocking it. It left viewers horrified, with thousands taking to the comments to criticize Chael's insane and humane cooking method. Being seasoned before death is wild, someone wrote. Yeah, it got in their eyes. Crabs have a nervous system, by the way, and feel pain. Oh, there was no crab setting. I wonder why. Person commented. Another stated, crabs not only feel pain, they can also experience fear and memory. Oh,
right, but they're not gonna have a memory because they're dead. I mean, they're gonna be eaten.
But then their last memory is like, oh my god, I'm in an air fryer covered in Old Bay. Slow cooking an animal alive is a whole new level of animal torture. Your air fryer didn't have a crab setting because it's an insane thing to do.
Oh my god. She said boil. That's the thing too. She did say boil.
Well, because there's no crab air fry. They suffered, another wrote, while someone else said there was literally no need to put them in alive. Some people have zero sympathy. It's scary. Why do I feel like I'm an accessory to a crime? This has to be some sort of torture. One person advised Chael's on how to humanely kill the crabs before cooking. Put in the fridge and then smack the apron on the edge of the counter and it will instantly kill the crab. Wow. What's the apron? Crabs wear aprons now? Just the women. Nah, this isn't right. They read and still moving. There is no crab setting because crabs feel pain. One person wrote, I'll never understand torturing an animal before it dies. You know, that wasn't even a thought in her mind. Like,
she said she felt, she was like, oh, it is a little sad. But she did, that was her like compassion.
She just said that because she was taping it. Like, she was filming it. I don't think she truly cared.
You think that was performative? That was her best performance?
Oh, I guess they are twitching to death.
Gratuitous guilt.
Yes.
But she's like, they're going to be so juicy though.
She's like, but I love crab. It's so good. She didn't care. I completely understand that people have to eat, but this is wild. Troll account or not, this is too much. Ma'am, that crab is literally kicking in agonizing pain. Straight chorus line kicking. Many comments have also urged the TikTok creator to remove the video, but she has yet to comment on the backlash.
Imagine she hasn't even like checked her account recently.
She's stuck in her fingers. She's
been having a work week, like, you know.
She's air frying crabs every day. She's not checking the comments. Oh my goodness. Whew. I don't know. I feel outraged.
Would you eat it though?
If I know
It's already dead. It's already dead now.
Way,
Yeah, but it's already dead.
That's the thing, is sometimes Frank and I go to this crab spot. It's the kind of place where poor people think is fancy.
I love those places.
The first time I went, I'm like, ooh, it's kind of fancy here.
And then you heard the screams.
And then I heard, I just thought there was some women there.
When I was little, like my dad used to like have me pick out the lobster that he was going to cook, and it would be like this whole thing that he like loved to do with me. And I would like pick out the one that we were going to get, and then it comes with the rubber bands right on the closet. And then he would like let it crawl around the floor for a while, and I would like watch it, and like it was a pet for just like a little bit, like while he was boiling the water, like and then he would throw it in, and he'd be like, "Listen, it's probably going to scream." Like he thought it was pretty, like it was like a cool thing.
That's exactly what Asian families do at the puppy store. They go, you pick out the one you want.
For dinner.
For dinner, we're going to pet it, keep it like a dog. No, we're going to eat it.
They do that with pigs too. Like I know in Hawaii, I was at places where they were like the kids. It would be like their pet, but it's also gonna be a meal someday.
Oh, that's so sad.
Little babes,
little piggies.
Charlotte's Web. That was a good book.
I feel sad, but not sad enough to give up meat.
Yeah. I was a vegetarian for a while.
Everybody is at one point.
For at least 5 years, I think.
I was a vegetarian at 9, and then
Your parents let you be a vegetarian, and I tried to be one as a kid, and my mom was like, you're gonna have bacon.
I really tried to be one. I just was like, I can live off peanut butter and jelly, and then my mom was like, we don't fucking have enough money for you to be vegetarian. What are you doing? Have a hamburger. Shut the hell up.
Wow.
And I did.
You're just like, okay. Like, we're going to McDonald's. Like, what are you going to get?
Yeah. I was like, I guess I'm going to go hungry if I continue to eat like this. She's like, we don't have lentil money in this house.
Lentil money?
Yentil money?
Not yentil, lentil.
Oh.
Mike V for 5. I heard the Cause used lobster claws as nipple clamps.
Yeah, the Mike V has been on a whole Cosby thing in the chat.
You certainly did not help your case of being a guest with that last super chat. You're digging yourself a hole, sir.
I mean, who's really looking for Cosby content these days?
I can't say that I am.
Come and give me your fresh, hot off the press Cosby content.
Wow. Are you outraged by this crab situation?
I mean, it was pretty funny. I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest. Her commentary, like the fact that she was so oblivious, it was hilarious. It was more hilarious than that I could be. I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it tonight. I don't think. Now that I said that, I probably am. It's gonna be one of those things that as I think about it, I'm gonna be become more and more outraged, like how with women and men being in women's sports, it's grown.
Yeah.
So, I'll just have to wait for it.
It seems like the more humane way to kill a crab also is more time consuming and
very much so
more steps
and messy. It seemed like let the blood out, like stab it in the eyes. Like you also don't want to get, she was clearly afraid of them. The way she like emptied them out, she was scared.
Do you think the air fryer,
they were like bugs to her.
They're not going to drain their blood out in the air fryer. What happens to the blood? It gets fried.
You eat it, yeah.
Ugh.
Nice yummy blood.
Even take out like the poop.
Ew.
There's poop?
Well, they're the bottom feeders. Crabs and lobsters eat all the like the crap at the bottom of the ocean.
They eat all the pubic lice that's at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, she cooked it poop in.
Look at my socks. You're not getting a free shot of these, Tootsies, internet.
More super chats.
Nope.
So I'll take my socks. I'll take my socks off.
I never ever wear white socks, and the day I wear white socks, here you are, another redhead wearing white socks. This is unprecedented.
We're twinning. I almost wore jeans too and a black shirt.
What?
Would have been funny.
Unbelievable.
Like it was in the mix, but then I wanted to wear my XY gear.
Very cool. Oh my goodness. What else did we want to look at? Was there anything?
I think that was the peak. That was
the peak.
That was what we've been waiting to reveal for this whole show.
We were going to talk about Pamela Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk a little Pam
Okay, so
Anderson.
There's some outrage about Pam Anderson. Of course, she was very hot. She was a 90s heartthrob. She was Miss Thing. She was on Baywatch. She's what some people call a once in a generation beauty, and people are upset because she's not wearing makeup anymore. She's appearing at events fresh faced, but at the Met Gala, not only did she not have makeup on, but she had baby bangs in a bob, and the internet's upset.
Yeah, I've seen some like makeover people online that showed just how like with her hair different, how much better she would look, like just with the hair different. You know, there's like these stylists on Instagram that take all celebrities and they're like, they show how like the undertones, like they would look different with different hair or different outfit. I mean, her body still looks great. Like, you know, her body still looks great.
It's hard
she's selling like a skincare line though. So that's why I think she's doing this on purpose.
For her biz.
Yeah. I think she's doing it.
She's trying to target old women who want to look like decent like her. Like, she's got good skin.
Right. And I also think like no one was really, she had her recent movie come out. No one was talking about her or what she had going on until she came out as like more frumpy. So, I mean, it's a good marketing move. It's like, what is everybody going to talk about Pam Anderson if she looked great? It's like, okay, she just looks like Pam Anderson, like most celebs. She could still look exactly how she looked before.
She has the money to stay
and
hot.
She clearly still also has the face. It's still there. I mean, she's not fooling me with the short bangs and
I think she needs a little more with the eyebrow pencil. Like, it's too thin. She still has these like 90s pencil thin eyebrows.
Yeah, they're not coming back. They're not going to grow back. She
tweezed them all off. I think.
Yeah, so I think that's what I think. It's very much so on purpose because it became viral, like the fact that she looks like this, and it's been staying viral. And then every time she shows up, I mean, she still, to me, it looks like that. Just put on the hair and
look how far apart her boobs are.
Yeah, I think she's had to have a few boob jobs, right? She's had. They're like tires. People say like you got to
keep. Yeah. Have them rotated.
Who did her bangs though? Did she do that herself? Like what?
Right. Even her Baywatch bangs were cute. Yeah, the baby bangs look good on almost nobody.
They're like what every kid has when they cut their own bangs. That's what they look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a terrible.
The hair is horrible.
The super blonde on a pale face is really going to wash you out. There's very few people who can pull that off.
Yeah, and that's not knocking how she's aged at all. That's just saying like just do your hair better.
The hair has got to be better. She could have this hair at her age.
Absolutely. She absolutely could.
Some people stand.
I do like the dress. I would wear that dress. The dress is really nice. Looks like it probably.
I need a V-neck. I know I'm wearing a turtleneck right now. That's just till conditions improve. I would say you got to do a V-neck. When you got boobs, you can't have this covered.
Well, maybe I can see she wants to be more conservative
look
there.
How sweet she was.
That's her?
Yeah, that's her.
That looks nothing like her there.
1990.
So what surgery did she have between there and Baywatch, or was it just the blonde hair?
Ooh.
I can't really tell.
I'm not
sure. Is it
sure.
the jaw? I don't know. There's something different, right? But there was also nothing different.
There's something there that wasn't there before.
Really getting in the Disney mood.
Wow, she really does look totally different. Could that just be aging?
I mean, she must have had a nose job, right? Or no, is that just her nose? She's had that cute little nose.
Wow, I'm trying to figure it out. What the hell? What the hell changed?
So this character here, it says this was from somewhere in between 1992 and 97. And then this photo is apparently 1990. So they're not that far off from each other.
How much your look's really going to change in 7 years?
Yeah.
Unless she's 14 here. I don't know. I mean, I guess she didn't have the boobs yet there.
She's got a Playboy necklace. I hope she's not 14 in this picture.
Who's she? Oh, she's holding hands with somebody too.
Okay. I just thought that was an AI hand.
But who still wants to bang? I bet you there's a lot of guys that still want to bang her too.
Nope.
You don't want to bang her, Fealty?
Not
If
even
She
in the
walked in the door
slightest.
right now with her weird bangs. And she was like, Fealty, only you can satisfy me.
You would do it. You say you
I would-
wouldn't,
I
but you'd
would
be
say-
starstruck and you would do it.
Heck no, I wouldn't. First off, I wouldn't.
And then
be
we'd start going,
starstruck.
son.
He said I wouldn't be starstruck.
She slept with Tommy Lee, who had sex with over 1,000
Okay, so
girls.
you think her whole is ruined.
Absolutely, she has AIDS or some type.
Oh, right. She does have
Okay.
hepatitis. She does have hepatitis.
I'd take AIDS over those bangs.
Tommy Lee gave her hep. I do remember that.
Really?
I forgot about that. I totally forgot
got
about that.
hepatitis?
Maybe that's what's happening. She did. I mean, you could look that up. I remember watching that on the Howard Stern show, like her talking about it.
God, he seems just like the dirtiest, filthiest. Yikes.
It's funny. I'm looking at the
Yeah,
line.
she
I know, me
was
too.
diagnosed with hepatitis C,
C, right?
in 2001.
Is that the bad one?
Well, it says initially given a prognosis of living no longer than 10 years.
Oh
So
my
I don't
God.
think it's the good one.
Maybe it's the hepatitis kicking in.
Right. Maybe it's gone to her brain.
So I have an article here. Pamela Anderson cured of hepatitis C, but others wait for miracle drugs. So apparently she's cured of it somehow.
Clearly,
Whoa.
that makes sense. That tracks. You know,
She's got money to cure. She's got hepatitis money.
got that have money.
She's got hepatitty money.
But others are still waiting for the cure,
Yeah,
She
but
got
others
bumped
still
to the
waiting
front of the
for
line.
like Magic Johnson.
Wow.
She's the Magic Johnson of hepatitis.
She is. Yeah, she should be doing all the hepatitis commercials. She is a living success story.
But they're like, this is millions of dollars. This isn't available to
yeah.
the mainstream.
You have to
Yeah,
have
so
baby
the
bangs.
treatment costs $100,000. It's called
not that bad.
Sovaldi, and it's a 12-week regimen with a drug called Sovaldi. Yeah, so
That's not that bad.
Wow.
yeah.
$100,000 to live. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Right, if it's going to debt or
Mortgaging
die.
your house, whatever you got, right?
Yeah.
OnlyFans, whatever you need to do for that
Right, I'd
money.
be like, look, I'm going on OnlyFans just so I can cure my hepatitis.
Guys, come on, chip in.
And then I would call my OnlyFans humpatitis. I don't know. I would
Yeah,
think
so
something.
I yet again, I will restate, I would pass on Pamela Anderson.
Okay.
100%.
Even though she's cured.
Wait, what about hot
Cured
peak?
my butt.
What about hot peak Pamela Anderson?
Maybe this
I love how he's so
one.
Here's
picky.
where
I love how he's so
bullshitting.
picky.
Maybe this one.
He is so picky.
But in reality, what's the
Women have thrown. I've seen it. Thrown themselves at Fealty, and he has said no at least 2 or 3 times that I've seen.
good for you?
Yeah. I mean, no STDs, no 10-year
Thrown
hepatitis.
themselves.
I mean, you could throw a condom on it. Like, it's not.
Slap a condom on.
And then, like, also, like, you fucked Pamela Anderson, like, for the rest of your
What
life.
about if it was Pam Anderson pre Tommy Lee? I think Fealty would do a pre Tommy Lee Pam Anderson.
Yeah, that's a trophy if we're living in the 1990s.
She was
and
married to
aughts.
Kid Rock, too, right?
Wow.
Wasn't she also married to Kid Rock?
No, and Kid Rock has hepatitis.
Am I right about that?
Let's
Let's have Kid Rock on the show. Bring Kid Rock in here.
Yeah, why have I not think that I could just text him?
Yeah, let's get Kid Rock on in here.
Get Kid Rock over here. How interesting.
And Amy Schumer and Hilaria Baldwin.
Yeah.
Did you guys do the Hilaria Baldwin clip where
No.
where she's cutting off Alex
Oh,
Baldwin
yeah.
in the most
That was
cringe way?
the most
Like, when I am
demeaning
talking,
thing.
you're not talking.
I would be like, goodbye. I don't know. That's the most demeaning thing. Like, embarrassing your dude in public like that is like one of the lowest things you could do.
Yeah, I mean, wow. And he's also the famous one. He's the only one reason that they're even talking to
Who
you.
the hell are you?
No one
Yeah.
gives a shit.
Your name sounds like Hilarious Baldwin.
I mean, I guess after he like shot that person, she was just like, I can say whatever.
Shut
I
up.
want.
You killed someone. Yeah. Oh
That's
my-
not even her real accent. She's like, I think she's like Jewish. She's just a white girl. She's not.
Yeah, in the video, she doesn't have any accent. She's like,
Yeah.
when I'm talking, you're not talking.
It was awful. Brutal. Just took his balls right from him. Oh my goodness. Mary Jane, what a delight you are. This was so much fun. Where can people see you other than at Mohegan Sun on June 22nd?
Follow me on Instagram, please. MJ Murphy Comedy. That's where you could see me. I'm there every day.
And also, you're
the gram.
on Twitter at Hot.
But it
Girl.
sounds like hot things girls say, but it's like hot hings girls say.
You gotta change that handle. You gotta change it to your name. Derek C coming in at the end with a $5 super chat. Would Fealty do Chrissie Brinkley?
She's hot. Chrissie Brinkley. She's still looking good.
Let's see.
She's got a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, she's beautiful.
She's a supermodel.
Yeah.
I think she's still hotter at this age than like a lot of 20-year-olds that are just like ugly 20-year-olds, you know?
I'd say okay. I mean, I would prefer like a Jessica Biel is great.
Jessica Biel.
Ellen Page before it became Elliot was hot.
You'd rather take mentally ill
Elliot.
Ellen Page before Chrissie Brinkley.
Yeah.
How old is Chrissie Brinkley? She is pushing probably like
She's
70 or 80.
60s.
She might be older than that now.
She's born in 1954.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's 70.
Yeah.
71.
She's
No
like a
thanks.
dinosaur.
I'd still hit it. No.
This is goals. If I can look that good at 70, wow.
Who's your crush? Who's your like your celeb male crush?
My husband.
But he's not a celeb. Who's your celeb?
to
male
me.
crush? Okay.
Celeb. I don't know if there is anybody.
You're like, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not getting in any fights tonight.
I make jokes that it, like, for years I made jokes that it was Channing Tatum, but I'm like, Then you hear him speak and he's like kind of dumb.
He ruins it. Brad Pitt for me
Yeah.
every day, all day. And Keanu. I would do Keanu.
Keanu Reeves I've heard is very nice
Yeah.
as a
I've
person.
heard that too. But Brad Pitt, I still will sometimes, he'll come into the fantasies, you know. It's like he's in a hotel and he's just like, hey.
If I were to watch Magic Mike XL again, man, I don't know.
You never had a Brad Pitt thing?
No, I never.
Never
As a kid, I had a big crush on Leo.
Leo DiCaprio.
We had the same birthday. Not the same
He got
year,
engaged.
But no.
To a 19,
Come on.
To a 19-year-old, yeah. First time he's ever
He
engaged.
got engaged to that girl?
Yeah. He's engaged.
And he's 50 and she's 19.
He looks 19, I gotta say that.
He looks
First
good
of all.
still. He's got
People
got
really
the
coming
money.
at him, but I'm like, if I was 19, I would be all about dating Leo and marrying him.
Wow.
And
Well,
bearing his
Sydney-
children.
Sydney Sweeney had her 25th birthday, and she got a birthday cake with Leonardo DiCaprio's face on the cake because now she can't ever get a chance of dating him anymore.
Right. Because they age out
so
after
he's
24.
50, she's 19. So when he's 70, she'll only be 40. I guess that's the way to do it. Is like marry the absolute youngest person you can at the absolute oldest you can.
While
and
you're
then,
still
like,
hot, and maybe
lock it
then
in.
have a couple kids.
And
maybe
then-
they'll
right.
have, you know.
He's gonna dump her in 6 years though.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Eventually, like guys I know that have done that, it is around probably the age he is. They do eventually get like that one youngest girl, and I've seen it, and then they settle down, and they just like from 50 to 80, they're just
Wow.
they're there. I mean, at some point you have to.
And they just do it till their back gives out.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're Belichick, right? His girlfriend is 24.
Right. You just have to have her on.
I mean, the
top.
difference between him and Leonardo DiCaprio,
A lot.
like
Leo can get away
he's
with it.
so hot.
James
He's still
Sturt
so
for
hot.
5. Fealty opinion on Linda Carter. We're trying to wrap up here,
No,
people.
I pass on her. She's born in 1951.
He's extremely picky. Matthew Hammond for
Nev
2.
Campbell,
Alicia
though.
Silverstone is still a babe. Yes, she is.
She's
I would
okay.
say okay to Alicia. She's
She's all right. She definitely doesn't look like how she used to look, and like the Aerosmith
Like in
videos
Clueless?
and the Aerosmith videos.
Oh, I
was
love that video. Well, we didn't have MTV growing up. I had to watch it in my mom's office because her boss had cable. So like over the summer when I would like teach summer school, I would go and like watch like MTV. It was very exciting, but I would be obsessed with the Crazy music video and Blind Melon. And I was like, ooh, this MTV is so cool. Anyway.
I want my MTV.
And now it's gone. This was so fun. Everyone follow Mary Jane Murphy now on Twitter, on Instagram. See her at Mohegan Sun, June 22nd.
Gamble with me. I'm probably
Gamble with her.
Gamble
if you're
a little bit.
fellow redhead, come find her. We need to stick together.
Yeah, we do. So
Thank you,
I'll be
guys.
back, that means.
Yeah. This was awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to the chat for your comments and questions. You guys are the best, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
I hate goodbyes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Evan.
Goodbye, my darling.
Goodbye, Rorschach.
Goodbye, Eric.
Goodbye, Willie.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Yogurt. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, David.
Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Ranger.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, bro.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson.
Goodbye, Clem.
Goodbye, brother.
Goodbye, Colonel. Goodbye, old friend.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Simba.
Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye, Parzival.
Goodbye, my son.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, buddy.